Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday, so that means it's time for another episode of Would I Rebuy This Guitar? And the guitar in question today is a 2014 Gibson Les Paul Peace. Now, I bought this guitar in 2014, but I didn't buy it new. I bought it from Dave's Guitar. I've been shopping there forever, man. They really should give me a commission for some of this stuff. When I saw this guitar come up for sale, I was in love with that green flame on it. And there's currently one for sale on Reverb, but the finish looks really dull. I got really lucky. They were really inconsistent in the quality and I guess the vibrance of the greens on the mellow out green for that model. And when I saw it and the price, especially now, if I saw that at this price now, oh God, in a heartbeat. But I said, yeah, let's do it. So I ordered the guitar, it showed up, and it had the mini tune on it. Now, let me tell you, I haven't talked about mini tune ever on this channel, and I don't want to harp too much on negatives here, but that was worthless. It was so bad that I didn't even want to play the guitar until I replaced the tuners. I bought a set of Groders that day, and I actually overnighted them because I didn't like it that much. So I installed the new tuners. I installed some kind of more normal knobs on it, and I left the bridge where it said Peace just kind of where it was because first of all, it didn't really bother me. Second of all, the bridge was fine, so there was no reason to replace that. And the last thing, I put a black truss rod cover on it, and that was it. That was all that guitar ever really needed. And I don't know if I just got lucky with that one, but I never had tuning issues with that. It was one of the only Gibsons I've ever had where I just had no tuning issues. That one had the regular nut on it. That was the year before they did the brass nut, and that didn't go over so well with the community, so they eventually went back to using bone. But this one was fantastic as far as tuning stability goes. I loved how this guitar sounded distorted. It was just that creamy, huge, just larger than life tone that you know and come to expect from a quality Les Paul, and it did not disappoint. I cut a full record with this guitar, and I still listen back to it. I'm like, damn, that sounds good. And especially because the Midtown actually made it on one or two songs as a secondary guitar, and I hear the difference between the Midtown and that Les Paul Peace, and I'm like, oof, that piece was something else. It was a surprisingly light guitar too. I know that, I think from 2009 to 2013, I want to say, Gibson Les Paul standards were known for kind of being lighter than average. A lot of people that are recommending lighter Gibsons say, oh, well, you know, look for that kind of time period. And it's pretty true. I see them under 8 pounds on a fair bit basis, which for a Les Paul standard, that's pretty decent. So something to keep in mind if you're in the market. Those are good years. One thing I really thought was a good touch that Gibson did was the hemp case. It looked so classy, and it was really strong, because if you don't know, hemp is actually an extremely strong material. However, at the time when I sold this guitar, I didn't sell it because I didn't like it anymore. I sold it because we had just found out we were having Penelope, our daughter. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna be a responsible dad, and I'm gonna sell my guitars. Look. Yeah, I sold all the guitars. That's what happened. But, you know, I decided I wanted to keep the Jazzmaster, my Strat, and my custom shop Telly, and that was pretty much it at the time. And I said, you know what, I'll sacrifice this. I already cut a record on it, and I was thinking at the time that I would be mainly making music with my wife, and out of all the guitars that I did have left, that was probably the one that fit the least well with our style of music. So it was kind of like I don't want to sell this guitar, but, you know, you got to do the right thing. So yeah, after having it for 3 years, I sold it, and that was the end of that. Now, I have so many good memories of this guitar. I have so much nostalgia when I look at pictures of myself with it. With that being said, I wouldn't rebuy it. And I think it's for two reasons. One, I want to leave the past where it is with that guitar. That was such a specific one, and I didn't really care for any other colors on it. I really, really liked that mellow out green. And I don't think I'd find a top that good again. I mean, maybe if the guy who I sold this exact one to put it back up for sale, I'd think about it. I really would. But I feel like I had my time with it, and I'm really happy with my PRS as far as for a Les Paul goes. I love the 594. Feel wise, it's just as good. It feels great. It plays great. And I think all that guitar really is missing is just a proper set of pickups. Not that those are bad pickups that come in the McCarty, but they're just not as good as some of the other ones. They're not even as good as the ones in the CE24. Those are much better pickups than the ones that come stock on the S2. However, it's a lot cheaper to replace that than to buy another Les Paul from Gibson now, isn't it? So I don't think I'd rebuy this guitar. I think if I ever bought another Gibson Les Paul, it would be something completely new to me, or something that the deal is so good where I can't say no to it. But they are cool guitars. If you can find one without the mini tune on it, that's in pretty decent shape, and one of the rarer colors, like that sunset, is really nice. And the purple, it's like an amethyst. It's not bad either. I forget the names. They had really like kind of stoner names on a lot of these guitars, but Harmonious Sunrise, Harmonious Sunset, something like that. I don't know. But anyways, if you like what I'm doing, please leave me a like. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about Gibson guitars from that era. I think that was like the last year, and then things really started to go downhill from 2015 all the way through around 2017. But things have seemingly been getting better. That being said, I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care.